and welcome everyone to another episode of Fey Fitness. Fey here, and today I'd like to teach you a beginner core stabilization workout. This is going to be perfect for those of you who are just getting into exercise or maybe don't really know what you're doing and you need some guidance and some help. I am here for you. So if you'd like to learn how to do this exercise, stay tuned and I'll show you how. Guys, as I mentioned in the introduction, this is going to be a core stabilization workout for beginners. So it's just going to be 4 moves and it's very simple to learn. They're all variations on a plank move. So we're going to do a plank on our hands, on our elbows, and on either side. So we're going to hold each one for a minute and then repeat it to get the 8-minute mark. Now, if you've never done a plank before and you can't hold it for an entire minute, that's completely fine. Just try to stay in that position as long as possible and make note of it, like write it down somewhere, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, however long you could go, and just do that for the week. And then every week afterwards, just try to add maybe 5 to 10 seconds to whatever time you originally started out with until you can get up to the minute mark. So don't try to push yourself and hurt yourself by doing the full minute if it's just not happening for you. So just start out wherever your body is and go from there. Some things you do want to keep in mind though, before we get into doing the actual exercises, is you want to keep your core engaged. Planks are a perfect exercise, especially for beginners, because not only do they work the ab muscles in the front, which everybody's really concerned about, but also the back muscles, your butt muscles, and your shoulder muscles. So it's great to hit a lot of different muscle groups, especially these larger muscle groups like your glutes and your back, and kind of help strengthen those up. The other thing you want to remember is while we're doing this exercise, always keep your abs engaged, regardless of whatever, if you're on your hands, your elbows, or your sides, try to keep your core engaged as much as possible. If you want to add a little bit of extra complications and make it a little harder for yourself, I always tense my glute muscles and my arm muscles when I'm doing these exercises. That way I'm sure I'm maximizing the return on what I'm doing. Because I'm a little lazy when it comes to working out, so I want to be sure that I'm getting the best bang for my buck. So I'm not at the gym any longer than I have to be. The next thing you want to think about is the position of your spine. So from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, we want to have as straight of a line as possible. So when I'm demonstrating these exercises, I will be twisting my head in order to look at the camera so you can just see me and to hear me better on the audio. But please be in mind when you're doing this on your hands and your elbows that you're actually looking at the ground, because you want to have your spinal column as straight as possible without any necessary twisting of the bones of the neck, just to help reduce the chances of injury. So we want to keep you as safe as possible while we're doing this exercise. And that's it. It's easy peasy. So all you need to do is just pop on some workout clothes, bust out that yoga mat, and let's get going. So for the first plank, it's just going to be a standard plank on our hands. So to do this, we're just going to get on our feet and our hands, again with that nice neutral spine that I was talking about. Really make sure that your core is engaged. If you want, you can tense up those butt muscles and tense up your arms. And just maybe the first time you've done this, if you have a mirror handy, make sure you're looking in the mirror. When people do this for the first time, I notice like their butt can be up in the air or it's sagging way down to the floor. And so we just want to keep that nice neutral spine. And again, look down at the floor like this to keep your spine neutral. But for the audio quality, I'm going to be looking at you. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing is that your arms are below your shoulders. Try not to have them way back here, way out here, or even way out to the side. We want a nice solid line from our shoulders to the ground. And we're just going to hang out here for a minute, or as long as you can. It's very easy peasy. On this is the elbow plank. As you can see, I am on my elbows. Again, my elbows and arms are directly below my shoulder blades. My butt's not up in the air or sagging down on the ground. It's just nice and neutral. I'm going to hang out here for another minute. The move we're going to do today is a side plank. And so for this move, once you get it on the right side, it's really easy to implement it on the left as well. We're going to be on our shoulder, again with this nice straight line from the shoulder to the ground. Our spine is nice and straight. Hips aren't doing anything crazy. They're just facing straight ahead. We're just gonna hang out here for a minute. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If it also helps, you can add your arm up over your head if this just makes you feel better and is more comfortable for you. And last but not least is plank, the side plank on our left side. And again, you can extend your arms over your head if you want. You can leave them on your hips. Whatever's comfy for you, just make sure that your core is engaged. Like I said earlier, if you want, make sure that your arms and your glutes are nice and tight as well. And hang out here for a minute. For those of you keeping along, we just did 4 moves at 1 minute each. So we're halfway there. All we need to do now is just repeat everything we did for another minute. If you weren't able to hold these for an entire minute, that's quite all right. Start wherever you're at and just gradually work your way up. This isn't a competition, it's wherever your body is at this point in time. So don't feel bad if you can't do the full minute or even 30 seconds. We all start somewhere. So for this exercise routine, I recommend doing it 3 to 4 times a week. We definitely don't want to neglect our core muscles in any kind of exercise routine because they are so important, especially the back muscles because they're the ones keeping our spine nice and healthy. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below, and I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. And tune in next week where we'll continue on with plank exercise routines and I'll show you some fun, more advanced moves. So until then, bye guys!